My name is COTY BURKE, and I graduated from Lexington Senior High School in 2010. See, when I was your age, I used to always study the game, whether it was sports, or school, or females. I was always an observer. And since I've graduated from high school, I started studying the game of life. And I've been on the search for one answer. What does it take to get what we really want? What does it take of us to get to where we want to go in life? And that journey's taken me all over the world the past 7 years. But it started here in Davidson County.
Yo, tell me when to go. I was born for the show, raised in the projects, I never had dough. Straight from the cosmics, always had flow. Got my bags packed, getting ready for the get up. Flying overseas from writing these love letters. I know times is hard, but it always get better. Postcards from London, call me when you wake up.
As I sit here and look around Winston, in the city that it's become, I think, what would it take for us to create a Winston in Davidson County? What would it take for us to innovate our community? What would it take for us as students and as citizens in Davidson County to innovate ourselves, to go for something bigger and greater, to build towers in our life and in the community around us? And it really, for me, it goes back to one thing. It's knowing how to innovate, to create, to do something different than we've ever known. From my travels, I've learned that it's really down to three key things. The first is learning how to lead ourselves as students, as community members. It's not who we are, but it's how we use our time. As I spoke with Mayweather and Jordan and Bryant, it's not who they were, it's the practice and the time and the energy that they put in when they were my age, when they were your age, that brought them to where they're at. And after we learn how to optimize and really take us and our lives to the next level, it's about leading with others, creating a team, building a community, figuring out how to get what you want by using the resources that's around you. See, the biggest thing that we have to understand is everything that you need is right there around you. You just have to know how to access it. We're going to spend time working in teams, collaborating with others, talking to community leaders and people with resources, and learning how to access those, how to use those for our own wants, desires, dreams, ambitions. And the real key is number three. It's when we learn how to lead ourselves, when we learn how to work with others, we are able to change our world, to change our circumstances, to change the financial situation that our family is in. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're at, because in my experience, what I found is that the people with the most success in life are the ones that have come from the most difficult childhoods. They didn't have the money to get by. They didn't know when the next meal was going to be on the table. They grew up in a foster home. The reason that they are so successful is because they know what it's like to go through tough times. And if you really want to build something new and create something new, you have to go through the trials and tribulations. It took me 12 years to say this, but from 8 to 10, I was sexually abused by my older brothers. At 12, my stepfather of 6 years committed suicide. My half-brother found him 3 days later, laying on the couch with a hole through his head. The gun was laying on the ground. 2 years after that, my mother was being strangled to death on a second-story balcony. My brother had to break into the room, and we had to stop our stepfather from killing our mother. A couple years later, I quit the baseball team. I was failing in school. I moved out of my dad's house. My world was falling down around me. And it was in that moment that I decided to build something new. It was in that moment that I decided two things. One, I was going to get out of Lexington. And two, that there was something deep down inside of me ever since I was 6 years old, that I knew that I was meant for something more, that I was meant to be in a better, greater situation than what I was born into, that I was meant to provide a solution in some part of the world, that I was meant to be in front of people and influence and just follow a higher purpose. So if that is you, no matter what you're going through, no matter where you're at right now, I want you to be a part of this program. You have to give yourself a chance to build something new, to create something new in your life, and to create something not only for our community, but for yourself and for your family and for the students that are around you.
Yo, tell me when to go. I was born for the show, raised in the projects, I never had dough. Straight from the cosmics, always had flow. Got my bags packed, getting ready for the get up. Flying overseas from writing these love letters. I know times is hard, but it always get better. Postcards from London, call me when you wake up.
Insert story in.